Hi everybody! I'm making this video to talk a little bit about my energetic experience between what old souls feel like and what young souls feel like. So it's kind of fun to explore it. As human beings, we have a curiosity about soul ages. We live in an infinite universe and we try to understand things based on a linear time spectrum. Past lives, as though we can't, you have to have all these lifetimes lived before you can get to the next lifetime. Not fully understanding that a soul is so infinite, it can fragment off and live several lifetimes at the same time. It can be in alien bodies, human bodies, and animal bodies simultaneously. It can actually live in what we would perceive as a future lifetime. It can live in future lifetimes, present moments, past moments, all simultaneously. It's crazy. I've seen actual souls entering into what would be like an incarnated time, like what would be like 10,000 lifetimes. Like an incarnation cycle is what it's like. An incarnational cycle looks like a spiral. And so you have what are souls preparing for a new incarnation cycle. And before the prepper, like, it's a totally crazy experience. Basically, this would have been, I'll just to describe what I saw here, which was really mind blowing to me. But I saw what were like 50 souls in a space. What's the spirit realm look like? It could look like anything you could imagine. It could look like totally blacked out void space, or it could look like an earth paradise. It could look like the stars. It could look like planets. It could look like geometric shapes. It could look like anything that your consciousness desires to experience at that time. It could look like rainbow colors. It could look like frequency waves and sound waves and be experienced in that. Or it could be pure silence. It can be anything you want it to be. So, as I was sort of an observer of watching this incarnation cycle, this had something to do with the human race and the planet Earth and souls that were choosing to incarnate here to assist with certain versions of learning through an evolutionary learning for our human species on planet Earth specifically. Souls, super insane old souls, actually came together, like 50 of them, and chose to sort of dedicate their incarnation cycle to the development of humanity. It's the only way I can describe it. Some of these souls actually chose to be broken and disconnected from the light, so from love and light itself, from God energy, in order to be destructive terrorist nightmares, in order to teach humanity to basically imprison itself and then find a way out of imprisonment by choosing love. Lucifer would be a very good example of this. An incredible, amazing, immaculate soul that bowed down before God and chose to take on the ultimate sacrifice to be entirely broken and cut off from God in order to be the ultimate teacher for others. And then also for himself too, because the learning goes both ways. It's we all learn together, right? It's quite scary. It was a very vulnerable, energetic feeling that I experienced. And it's strange because souls are always in the balance, right? They're always in an experience of the oneness. They don't feel vulnerability, but yet there was a vulnerable energetic pattern. And I don't know if they were sharing it so I could understand the power, the superness of this moment. The spirit was helping me as a human being to understand how hardcore this was. But in the scene I saw again like 50 spirits, super ancient. What does ancient feel like? It feels like thousands and thousands of universes old, thousands of universes old. So universe 1, the birth and death of universe 1, rebirthed into universe 2. So what is a rebirth cycle of a universe? Do you have even a freaking clue? Because I don't have a freaking clue, but that's what old souls feel like. That how old? We're talking ancient, insane ancient souls are like the rebirth of universes. Young souls can feel like old souls too, but they don't. They feel thinner. They feel not complicated. They feel simplistic. They feel like we're still putting the baby blocks on top of each other, and we just need really simple life experiences that aren't overwhelming. They aren't complicating us too much mentally, emotionally, because the soul is still integrating into the body, is still integrating into the human consciousness in the earth life experience, which is hard. Doesn't matter if you're young or old soul, earth life experience is hard. That's what helps souls to really expand and grow very quickly. So if you have a young soul living as a Palladian for the next 10,000 lifetimes, they're going to know about one thing, and it's going to be infinite love. But they're not going to know what it is like to starve. They're not going to know what it is like to be self-punishing. They're not going to know what it's like to hate. They're not going to know what it is like to, want to kill another person. They aren't going to know what it's like. But when you incarnate here, you're going to know what it's like to explore all the various aspects of consciousness through emotion, through the rainbow of emotions, from the most chaotic to the most unconditionally loving. You get to learn it here on planet Earth. So a young soul could incarnate here, let's just say 100 lifetimes, and be more advanced in what it can how it can express itself than a young soul that chose 10,000 lifetimes as a Palladian being. So the number of lifetimes really do not matter in comparison. So young soul, old soul, what does it matter if you've lived 100 lifetimes or 10,000 lifetimes? Well, where did you live those lifetimes? What did you choose to be challenged by in those lifetimes? So young souls here on Earth, they feel very simple. There's not a lot of energy activity. I want to go as deep as I can go, but there's nothing deeper. It just things stay at the surface level. There isn't a lot of nooks and crannies to explore. Old souls, it's like, holy crap, what was this soul fragment doing down in this insanely ancient, impossible space that I could hardly get my own soul to, so I could actually get it out of there, heal it. And it feels like it was, 10,000 lifetimes ago. So like, it's insane. It feels crazy. So when I do shamanic sort of healing work, going to get soul fragments and exploring, the depths of your soul, I get to feel that super vibration. And sometimes I come across really ancient old souls in other people's spiritual atmospheres. It's like, what are you doing here? I don't even know who you are, but somehow my soul recognizes you, and I am so happy to see you. You super ancient soul. Why are you here? Well, I'm here to share in the learning. Oh, well, that's pretty awesome. And so this is kind of what it's like. This is what the spirit realm is like. This is what old souls are like versus young souls. But we're all in this together, right? Young souls are just as valuable as old souls. We can't do this thing without both. We have to have everybody, and everybody is so loved in the universe, and every soul is revered. Young souls are revered just as much as old souls are revered. Old souls have that powerhouse energy that is like riveting, like, whoa, I don't even know how to stand in your presence. You're so freaking insanely awesome. It's so like you can't not be in reverence. But young souls, it's like, I adore you. I am so glad you're here. There's this sort of like a simpler energy about it, but I can't help that young souls like feel really cute and really sweet and innocent in it all. But old souls can be very dark and very light because they've explored the infinite universe. They've explored the nightmare, and they've explored the beauty of love. They've explored all of it. And so in this place, in this experience where I saw, these like 50 souls or whatever, I'm about to step into an incarnation cycle of what I would define as like 10,000 lifetimes on Earth. I mean, it was a really overwhelming moment, and the souls were all uniquely different vibrations. Like there was orange, and there was yellow, and there was green, and there was blue, and they were all uniquely different vibrations, but they were all they all knew each other. There was all a reverence and a sacredness, an appreciation, a respect for each other. There was also what was like saying, it was like, I love you for your choices. They already knew what was going to be experienced in those 10,000 lifetimes. They already knew. They actually already knew what they were stepping themselves into. Literally, you walk off of a cloud, you step into a spiral, instantaneously the spiral and you connect, and you have experienced 10,000 lifetimes in a single moment. What is an infinite universe? What is time? Seriously, what is time in an infinite universe? It's a single moment. It's this one simultaneous moment. So they were done and over with 10,000 lifetimes in a single split moment. It was the most confusing, mind boggling thing I've ever seen. But that's what happened. But also, in that simultaneous moment, the experience of the illusion was explored. So the illusion is the gift that helps them to experience time from the perspective of a human consciousness, experience pain and suffering. The illusion allows them to experience pain and suffering. The illusion allows them to experience emotional derailment or pure and infinite love and connectedness. The illusion allows them to experience these things. That's why the illusion is a good thing. We see the illusion as, I mean, how far do you want to go with it? It could be as illusionary as me telling you you're not actually a physical person. You're a composite of energy that creates the fabric of what is the physicality of you. But I'm not even convinced in that. I am convinced that we are more, I mean, people would call it a hologram or something of that kind, but I don't have the language to fully express what it is that I am convinced of. It's very complicated to explain this stuff in language, but it's different. It's not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. A really good way to explain what is an illusion is, let's just pick out somebody that none of us can, somebody. All right, Donald Trump is always like a really good example because a lot of people just do not like Donald Trump. They do not like the people who voted for Donald Trump. They do not like, there's a lot of energy hate in that sort of neck of the woods. So the illusion, where's the illusion in this? You have to ask yourself, what if we're looking at illusions here, you actually believe that you really can't stand this guy. So you believe that with all of your heart that you cannot stand this guy. So where's the illusion in this? The illusion is you have not learned enough about love yet. Therefore, you will continue to reincarnate until you actually learn about love enough that you can look at Donald Trump and say, I'm so thankful for your soul. I am so thankful for your soul and what your soul is going to help teach the human race and how your soul is going to help us evolve as a species. And I'm so thankful that your soul was able to take on this role to be who and what you are today. So where's the illusion? Am I just totally insane here? Or is unconditional love the true value? The only thing that is truth is love. Love is the only thing that is truth. Or is hatred truth? Is hatred truth as well? And I have a right to hate people I don't like. Well, what have you learned about yourself? Because when you hate others, what do you actually hate about yourself? Because what we see in others is actually a reflection of ourselves. So we have to go internalize. We have to really get to know who we are and why we feel the way that we feel. Well, maybe I don't actually hate him. Maybe what I hate the most is that human beings continue to, it just feels like each president really does not care about the needs of the people of the country. And it just seems like it's always about money all the time. And it just seems like, the little man just cannot catch a break here. So do you hate Donald Trump, or do you actually feel like the system needs to be worked on? So do you see where illusions lie? What do we understand about truth? The only thing that is real is love, is the only thing that is real. So if you're not feeling the love, then you need to explore yourself some more and find out what you really feel deep down inside, right? So old souls have a really magnanimous way of seeing the bigger picture way faster and way more seeing the bigger picture more quickly and having that bigger picture understanding, where younger souls, they don't have that energetic development of 10,000 lifetimes in a single moment. They don't have all of that information going on in their spiritual atmospheres yet, all of that wisdom download going on in their spiritual atmosphere. So they're really easy to jump on bandwagons. They're really easy to just follow suit and be sort of the following sheep because they're learning, right? And they're just doing what they think is best in their own heart. And that's perfect. That's beautiful. But it really challenges us old souls because we already get it. We've already been there, done that so many times. It's just like, seriously, it's like eating cardboard anymore. Why can't you people figure it out? Hello, it's not that freaking hard to figure this out. Seriously. When will people start to love each other? When will people see the value of loving each other? When will people figure out that money does not solve any problems? In fact, it is the reason for all of the problems. Because it is the reason for creating boundaries. It is the reason for making some people better than other people. And now we are all working under the thumb of money, and we never have any freedom in our lives, and we're always miserable all the freaking time because of money. Money does not work. Old souls have an understanding of this. Young souls feel like, we can work with money. We just need to maybe reorganize the structure of things. No, money doesn't work. Old souls get this. Old souls get this because we understand the value of love and connectedness and balance. Because we've been through so many freaking lessons, that we've eaten it, for breakfast. All of the crummiest nightmare crappy stuff that you could imagine, that the lifetimes nobody wants to live, we've been there. And we get it already. We've learned it so many times that please, let's just love each other already, because when we don't love each other, things get way, way worse. So now we're sort of the keepers of the evolution of the species to help the species, along the way. And the species will either evolve in love or it will continue to evolve in chaos. And both are beautiful. Are you able to see that a species evolving in chaos is a beautiful thing? Because if you're not able to see that, then you have more to work on. You still have more you need to work on within yourself, because everything is always in the balance. The balance is consistent with chaos and with love, are always in oneness, and we need to have both in order to have true, valuable learning. That's important. So I was quite dumbfounded by this experience of what I saw about these super powerhouse souls. And I saw that some of them would be terribly broken. They actually opted to God themselves and said, I step forward, God, and I will allow myself to be broken and disconnected from you so that I may be a teacher to humanity and allow humanity to take the plunge, to be the inspiration that helps humanity take the plunge. What's a good example of someone who helped humanity take the plunge? Christianity helped humanity take the plunge. Christianity has some really beautiful sides to it, but it also has some really dark and disturbing and very awful sides to it. And finding an angel to hate as sort of the reason why all of our lives suck right now, that's really pathetic. I mean, so let's just say it was Lucifer's fault, and now we have somebody to blame. No, we're to blame. We actually are to blame. So you see how the illusion and the deception had us moving in the wrong direction? It had us separating from love, and instead of having us welcoming love, actually saying, you know what, I don't want to see an angel not feel connected to God. I'm going to go to Lucifer and I'm going to find a way to help him come back to God. Who in their right mind is going to go to Lucifer and help him find his way back to God? Do you see now how badly we need to start working on love? Do you see now how badly we need to start helping each other to work on love? Do you see the difference between old souls and young souls? Do you see the difference? This is a valuable conversation here. So, where are we at, do you think, in the evolution of mankind? Where do you think that we are at? And does it matter? Because in the end, it's for the experience, right? It's for the experience of your soul. You're going to have lifetimes living in races that die. And you're going to die with it. And nobody in this universe is going to be there to save you. And it's going to be the end of your species. And you're going to be there with it. And that's just it. And that's for the learning, right? That could be the end of the human race. And that's just it, right? Or we may find a way to figure out how to love each other just by choosing to step forward and say, I'm going to be an example of love today. That is the old soul talking there. And I'm quite convinced that young souls and old souls, that there's no such thing. That what we would perceive as a young soul could somehow ingest, step into a Christ consciousness by some miraculous spark. We don't know how it happened. It takes some souls millions of lifetimes to be able to do that. But somehow, some young soul just stepped into Christ consciousness and just sailed beyond our perception of what is a young and old soul. So really, lifetimes do not define young or old soul. And in the end, it is how hard can you express love, and that truly defines the wealth and the worth and the reverence and the amazingness of your soul. How much can you be expression of love? How hard do you care about this earth? How hard do you care about our human race? How hard do you care about things through the gift of love? How able are you to forgive others? How able are you to forgive yourself? How able are you to accept people for who they are and what they choose for themselves, and even what they choose for others? How able are you to just be in acceptance and love of all things? Now you're starting to understand where you fit into the category of what we would define as an old soul or a young soul, right? So, that's all I'm going to share for this video. I hope you found it fun and enlightening. I'm just going to take a moment's pause and just make sure, and just check with my spirit guides in case there was anything else that I needed to mention here for the video. It's just getting more and more peaceful and more relaxed. And that is all I have to say about this conversation. All right. So that being said, I do share psychic wisdom and spiritual healing at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. If you're interested in connecting with me, I would love to connect with you and help you in your life. So thank you very much for watching my video. If you like my video, then like my video and subscribe to my channel, because there's always more videos to come. So thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel.